What is it like to have a stranger in your house? And what is it like to visit a man that you barely know, that you've only went on a romantic trip with, you like him, you're attracted to him, but you have no clue what he's like in real life, in real day life, and how he behaves, and whether he will like you in the end or whether you will like him in the end. All this was the subject of our latest speaking club, which was dedicated to a lady visiting a man's home. We discussed various subjects like how long she should stay and what is expected from him, from her, what is his house like and what it should be like, how you prepare your house. Also, what are the fears of women and what are their greatest concerns, and we were looking for recipes altogether. So you wonder, what is my speaking club? Well, it's an event that is an absolute success every time we have it. It's free, it's available for members of the Matchmaking Boutique Possible. All men and women come together and we talk about relationships. Women have a chance to practice their English while talking about relationships. Men have a chance to look at those beautiful, amazing, gorgeous women that are members of the Matchmaking Boutique Possible, and all together we discuss things that are meaningful in order to create relationships and things that are meaningful to stay in the relationships. So welcome to join my speaking club. Watch the announcements in this video descriptions in my specific Telegram channel exclusively for men. I put announcements and links to the speaking club, as well as watch my videos, and you will see more of the speaking club reviews and more of the information inviting you to join our speaking club so you can see how the Matchmaking Boutique Possible works. So the recent speaking club, like others, was a success with my clients because they find it as a therapy. They find it as a safe way to learn more about each other and to learn more about relationships. So let me share the review of the latest speaking club, and we will start from how long she should stay when she is visiting you on a romantic trip, when you really like each other and you want to make it work. There were different suggestions, but the outcome was the following: that number one, you need to agree how much time you both can have. Because people have jobs and obligations and have different lifestyles. So before her traveling, you need to decide how long she can stay, how long it is convenient for you to stay, that she stays, and then stick to that pattern. There can be self-sabotaging practices and events and situations. And one of the choices is having an open-end ticket so the lady can live and just leave it as it is, give up basically. But what is more useful and what will help build relationships and make it stronger is learning how you can overcome those stressful situations and how those stressful situations can strengthen you in your pursuit of long-term relationships. Basically, if you have a conflict, you don't give up and walk away, but you stay together and you resolve the conflict because you agree that, for example, if she comes for 3 weeks, she stays 3 weeks, and you find the solution if the conflict appears. Number two was the question whether it is better to work and the guy works and leaves the girl at home, or he just takes time off and they enjoy a vacation time. Well, the solution that we all agreed on is both. Initially, when the lady arrives, it is best that a guy has time off, a couple of days or even a day, when he can bring her to his house, when he can welcome her to his community, to his world, to his life. So she shouldn't look into the drawers by herself, but he can show her what is the order in his house, where things are and where things belong, so she can feel this warm welcome. One day is not enough. Certainly, you need 2 or 3 days of your time off. Of course, it depends on how many days she's coming for, but at least 2 days that you can dedicate to this woman, to this stranger in your house, who can be welcomed instead of being left alone. Then it is good that she stays at home and you go to work, which brings you closer to the real life situation. When you do work and she does stay at home, because this is usually what happens when couples connect and the girl immigrates, when girl relocates to another country and changes her life. For better, of course, not for worse. So if making this change for better, here's what you do. You make it as close as possible to real life circumstances, so that you go to work, she cooks breakfast for you if you both like it. Then she stays at home and does her things, and she can use that time for different activities, like riding a bike around your community, like learning what are the nearest shops like, or learning how to communicate with neighbors, and just learning by herself, because as adults we can do that. Right? Well, if she comes with a child, then she has a lot of things to do, starting from home assignments and finishing with all these other activities that she can do with a child. Plus, if you have a pet, she has a safe time learning how to love your pet, learning how to adapt to your pet's habits and behaviors and personality, right? And then again, you take your time off, and the third part, and you visit your relatives. You go places together that are dear to you. You introduce her not only to your inner house, but also to the outer world that is part of your life, personality, expectations, and everything else that makes your life so good and so happy. So that is an advised recipe. And how long she should come is depending on how far you are from each other. If you are on another continent, then certainly the longer she stays, the better. Months, or even 2 months, or even 3 months, depending on her job availabilities, obligations, her possibility to travel, and many other things. But if she is in Europe, and you are in Europe, then coming for at least a week can make it work. At least a week. Because long weekends aren't about long-term connecting. Long weekends are perceived by people more like entertainment, more like fun, more like a vacation trip, more like leisure than a real connecting. But of course, there are individual recipes and individual schedules, and you can make it work if you discuss it together and you find your solution. See, I'm not talking about compromise, because compromise is when only one person wins and another person agrees that it will be like this. A solution is when you both discuss it, agree on pros and cons, and you both accept the circumstances that will be beneficial for both of you. So more things on how long she may stay. Well, it all depends on basically a summary, a personality, the availability of free time, children and their needs, if they exist, and your ability to find the solution in your individual needs and individual life patterns that require to be as part of it. Okay, the next thing that we discussed is the man's home. There were two different opinions. Now, talking about home as a perfect place, an already existing space. It's done, it's settled, it's there. You just come and learn what it is like to be in my home. And another opinion is like making it half ready, making it available for her to put her creativity, to put her paintings on the walls and whatnot, and to make it also her home. Well, the solution for this, of course, is individual, but when a lady is coming to your home speaks for you. Your home is representing you. Your home is describing your inner world, your habits, your taste, your achievements, your life, basically. Unless it is a home that you just purchased and you just moved in and there is nothing there because you've thrown away all the bad stuff that belonged to old life and you are starting a completely new page in your life. Then it can be like another scenario that you both write this new book of your life together. So if a woman comes to a home that already exists with all the memorabilia hanging on your walls, she should be very sensible to this and shouldn't replace things without asking you, without agreeing with you, without asking your permission, basically, which was mentioned by men as an important matter of her respecting you and your space. On the other hand, if this is a new home that is absolutely new, it has to have the main stuff that is important for your comfort, like plates, like bed linen, like sofa to sleep on, like a bed. If you're inviting a woman to a home that doesn't have a bed, well, you are going to face a serious challenge, from severe discussions on what types of beds are good in the IKEA shop to, well, maybe a good agreement with now compromising with her taste and understanding that women are better designers and you just do the design and I will live with it, right? But then if you don't stay together, there's the design that will probably prevail in your home, this woman's design. So the house has to be livable. It has to have the cooking appliances, it has to have cooking utensils, the dishes, the knives and the forks, everything that is necessary actually to cook a meal at home and to sleep and to feel comfortable around. It doesn't have to have an abundance of things because then it gives her space to create and bring her new things into your house if this is your life scenario. But it's really challenging when it is not complete, and women find it very difficult to connect to guys whose homes are empty. It also speaks of the certain discord in a man's life when the house is empty. So think about it and see how you can make it half full, right? Not half empty, half full. That's the optimism, right? One of the very dear now gentlemen that is a resident of our speaking club advised to men to give woman a pile of cash that she can spend for shopping, for different things, even for utensils for the house, and make her feel comfortable. And the guy said that the general fear of guys thinking that all she needs is your money, well, you can test it by giving her the money and seeing how she handles that. Because handling money is one of the parts of family life, how you both handle the money that you earn and what type of spenders you are. And a really good way to see the type of spender she is giving her the money and watching how she spends that. And one more outcome, one more idea that was suggested is, if there are surprises in your house, those better be only good surprises, only pleasant surprises, because those emotions are connecting people. And if she learns more and more good surprises about her life, that makes her love you more. So, as you can see, we came to a conclusion that actually when a woman is visiting you in your house, or she comes to stay, for example, on a fiancé visa, then she is dependent on a man. She is dependent on you. Point. There are rare situations when she is so like rich and independent and so on and so forth, but still, she is in another country, she is in another world, and she is learning your world. So she's dependent on you. And when you are aware of it, when you understand that she's really sensitive about it, when she's going through all these challenges, it's making you more supportive, more understanding, and a better partner. So the next question was the household chores, and people dividing these household chores and giving it the right meaning and the right place. So the household chores are easy to handle when you both understand the responsibilities. But women are afraid that all you want is for you to have a free housekeeper who'll clean your house, who'll cook borscht for you, and that's it, which is usually not true. Men do not expect that. More so, Western men are very self-sufficient. They know how to cook, they know how to keep good order in the house. Some of the couples even telling me that they are fighting over who is going to do the dishes because they both like it and take it as a meditation after work to switch from work, thinking to family. But the answer is men are not expecting a housekeeper at home, and men are ready to share the housekeeping activities. And one more good idea that came was that if you, for example, hate certain housekeeping things and she also doesn't know how to do it well, or she hates it too, then the solution is hiring a housekeeper, hiring somebody who can help, and both accepting that as part of your life, which actually helps, because when people are starting having children and having more tasks to do, when they are fully dedicated to their work, a helper who is doing the housekeeping is really taking a lot of burden off, and people can focus more on themselves, on their relationships, on their love, on their connection, rather than vacuuming the floors and washing the windows. Well, the fears. Well, here I want to talk more, because very rational fears as well as really irrational fears are overflooding the women's brains and understanding of life and understanding of relationship, and really blocks them from choosing a good guy and starting good relationships. So these fears are, for example, the guy is too frugal. Yeah, he's afraid that all she wants is his money, he is not spending it, he is saving every dollar, he is buying one meal for both of them in a restaurant. That's how they understand that you are stingy, basically, and you don't want to invest your resources into relationships. Well, we will talk more about it on more videos that I'm going to make about attachment theories and resources related to that. But now I should say, well, you need to discuss it with your woman and you need to discuss money. But that's, again, another video. In order to see how she's handling your money, the answer that was suggested by one of the guys is giving her the money and just experimenting with it. Giving her a safe amount of money that is spendable in your understanding of life. Then women are afraid that actually you have all these habits, you have all your settled life, and she won't be able to fit into it. Which is a very rational fear, because when we are single for a long period of time, we get settled in that. And we don't want to change it. And we don't even notice that it's becoming a blocking spot. It's stopping us from creating new relationships. And your willingness to understand that, your ability to see that in your life, to understand that you've been single for a while and here's why, and this is how I'm going to change it, changing it, and watching, hey, she came into my life. How much private space do I need? Do I need to be that distracted? Or this is what we do together and this is what we do separately and this is how we do it separately. Remember, she is dependent on you, and your ability to accept this stranger in your house and your ability to find ways and things, help her find ways and things she can spend her time on, may really predetermine her settling in your culture very well. because you know better your community, you know what is available, you know what she can get herself into, understanding what type of personality she has, and that makes it work. Another thing is the fear. I've spoken about it, that a man only expects her to be a housekeeper, but we have worked on that. And the biggest, actually the greatest fear, is that a man is one person on vacation, and he shows one side of his personality, and when you start living together, it becomes a completely different person, which is a fear that men have as well. Well, the solution for this is understanding that relationships isn't something that you can take for granted. We grow, we change, and anything may happen because you grow up personally, you bring up issues that you didn't care about before, you enlighten yourself about many important things in relationships, and you change and you become a better partner. Or you really fall into the anger and grudges and everything else, and you become a worse partner. Or you can't overcome stress and you become a worse partner. So there is only one recipe, is the personal growth that we help our clients to follow, and we support our clients to do, and that is the only thing that can help you really connect and build sustainable relationships. And you can be expecting anything. You don't have to program yourself for failure, and you don't have to program yourself only for success. If you tell yourself that I'm going to watch what she's like, or I'm going to see what he is like in relationships, and then we will see, and then we will try to find solutions for every stressful situation, or for every situation that we think that is stressful, then it will help you stay together and really connect and build happy family. So the overall summary of how to fit into his life and how to get her fitting into your life are like the following ideas that I can share, and I'm happy to share with you. So these are loners need adaptation, and you need to have somebody reliable, a friend, a life coach, a therapist that will help you address these issues, address the reasons for your solitude, and work on changing that. Communication is actually the recipe. Nothing can be worse than keeping the grudges and collecting different things you don't like about each other and then just pouring it on a poor head of a partner. That's a killer for relationships. The solution is, as soon as you see something you don't like, you need to be like Dutch people. They tell you immediately, this is wrong, I don't like you doing it, change it this way. Well, Americans prefer to be more polite, more diplomatic about it, giving kind of indirect implications, giving like indirect ideas. This is how it works, this isn't how it works, and so on. But if you are direct, that helps you lots, especially understanding that English is a foreign language to the woman that comes to you. Even it can be a foreign language to you because, for example, you can be German or French and you get English as your main language for communication initially, and then she learns your language. So, two things. First, accepting that changes are going to happen in your life and accepting that this is what it's going to be like from now because I choose to have relationships. I want to have a partner and I'm going to change. That's one thing. And another thing is talking, discussing, addressing the issues, being ready to solve them is another key for success. And of course, the third recipe is continuing to attend my speaking club, when you can talk to Ukrainian women about everything that matters to them in building new relationships and making your own planned strategy on how you are going to be happy in your new relationship with a Ukrainian lady. And when you want your own recipe, of course, you are coming to my personal matchmaking interview. We talk about you, we find your strategy and different mechanisms that will work specifically for you, and I show you matches that will be welcoming that style as well. So, see you on my speaking club, or also see you on my matchmaking interview. Mwah.